Hi everybody. I just want to do a quick video message just to say how deeply embarrassed I am about what has happened this weekend.
Embarrassed. Not sorry, but embarrassed.
I know it's a tough time for everyone at the moment, been locked indoors for so long.
So you're out partying, yeah? 3 a.m, crashing into people's cars. Wearing odd shoes, incidentally. Why are you wearing odd shoes? Fucking hell.
And I obviously just got a call off a friend asking to go around to his, and I stupidly agreed to do so.
Boris, right, has got corona. Yeah? The Prime Minister and all his mates are falling. The whole house of cards of football is crumbling in front of our eyes. And you're out getting pissed with your mates. Yeah? I just don't understand why. You've got a fucking multi-million-pound house you could be sitting in. There's plenty of things you could be doing.
I don't want anyone to make the same mistake that I did, so I obviously urge everyone to stay at home.
Oh, yeah, because we're really listening to you, aren't we? We're actually listening to you for advice now, obviously. Notice there's not one sorry. There's not one actual apology. Listen to this, right? I'm going to tell you something right now, yeah? That was pathetic. As an apology, that was a 1 out of 10. You clearly don't mean a word, and you're only embarrassed because you got caught. Shameful. Actually shameful. The actual fraudulent cheek of you to be giving people advice. Oh no, son. You're finished. You're done at it. You're just a fucking footballer, dragging your club's name through the mud when all you've been asked to do, not go to war, yeah, like our forefathers who laid their lives down so that we could live the life that we have. No, you got to sit on your fucking sofa. You've just got to watch telly. That's all you got to do. Pick up a book, you delinquent.
This is for the ones who care.
Fraud gang. My certified soldiers, love to your mothers. I hope you're all doing well in these turbulent times. Make sure you are subscribed if you're new and drop the video a damn like if you breathe oxygen, because we have got breaking news for that ass. I've missed you. I hope you've missed me too. What have you been doing with yourselves? How are you spending these long hours? No football. What I would do for a Mustafi masterclass. Let's talk. Join me on Instagram or the Discord. The links are in the description box below. The money in football is redonkulous. However, just 2 weeks after the Premier League shut down, clubs are going bust and begging the government for help. 3 clubs asking the taxpayer for a handout. Tottenham, Norwich City, and of course, Mike Ashley's Newcastle United. That goes without saying, really, doesn't it? They've all put in requests for the government to help out and announced wage reductions for non-playing staff, which hasn't gone down well, and it leaves a kind of bitter taste in my mouth, if I'm honest. Tottenham, for example, actually published their accounts yesterday, and we got to see Chairman Daniel Levy, who has been paid £7 million in bonuses over the last 2 years. And, you know, fair play. He's got them to a Champions League final, where he's been part of their recent success, if that's what we're calling it. But these bonuses are being paid despite the opening of the new stadium being 7 months late and obviously costing the local council hundreds of thousands of pounds a month, again coming out of the taxpayers' pockets. It does seem a little bit like ordinary people, yeah? Your average Joe who built the game into the absolute money machine that it is, are yet again paying the price. Should the players maybe be taking a wage cut trying to help out? Or should the billionaire football club owners be dipping into their back pockets to stand up and be counted? Because there will be a list made of every corona fraud, everyone whose behaviour has been exposed during this time of crisis. And there's plenty of them. If you're getting £3 million bonus for the year, plus your original £2 million salary, you can't cut 550 people's wages by 20% and then go and ask the government and the taxpayer to bail you out and not be on the list. No, you're a fucking corona fraud and you belong on the list. This whole thing, right, football being gone, lower leagues being cancelled, and the Premier League tagline being, we'll be back in a sec, don't worry, just hold tight. It's not really sitting well with me. Like, how are we actually going to get this done? Now that we've seen how serious this is, now that the death toll is rising on a daily basis. You got players, managers, doctors, everyone, the Prime Minister going down with it. It really could be a while, and it's got me thinking, the money in football, I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with it. But we've been shut for 3 weeks and the whole thing is falling apart. And you've got the Premier League out here trying to convince everyone that it's fine. We're just talking about it. We're just sorting it all out. Don't worry, we'll be back and we're going to let you know what's going on. Coming up with these crazy ideas of how they can finish the league. All 92 fixtures to be played under one massive roof. As many pitches as we can find in some sort of quarantined, controlled, coronavirus-free pitch park where we can just ship 500 players and a whole bunch of staff and media and keep them there for 2 months. Okay, we're asking a lot. I mean, it sounds exciting. I'm being starved of football and I would love a football frenzy festival which goes on for 40 days of just non-stop games, 4 games a day. It sounds great, doesn't it? But is it realistic? And does something like that actually have the potential to cause more problems than solutions? 20 teams with a 25-man squad, 25 times 20, 500 players, all going to pass that corona test before they get there. All of them. All 500 are going to pass that test. Okay. Everyone's corona-free. I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it. Not with the way it's going around. No way. Would 500 players even agree to be away from their families for 2 months? They've got contracts where they're paid handsomely, but they're not paid for that. Why would they do that? To help out? I'm not sure everyone's going to be up for that. I'm just not sure. Especially seeing as that what we're ultimately doing here is keeping the money men happy. This is about keeping the fattest of the cats as fat as possible. Paying out the big boys and making sure that they get their money. And everyone else seems to be suffering here. These clubs are panicking, thinking we might have to pay some of this TV money back. Keep the TV owners happy by fulfilling as many obligations as possible and keep the club owners happy by fulfilling those obligations and therefore getting paid. That's what this is really all about. It's not really about sorting the football leagues out though, is it? Or are we inviting the championship clubs as well to this tropical island, the festival of football? We're not, are we? It's not about promotion and relegation. It's about money. Like, what about League One? What about lower down? What about the Jersey guys? They've won 27 out of 27 of their games. Mathematically, they won the league a while ago. It's null and void. It didn't count. Even though you're not going to get the money back that you've been paying all season in fines and whatnot. I don't know how I would feel about that. Why do they deserve such different treatment? And will there be a deal cut for these lower league teams from the Premier League TV money? Because everything else seems to be on hold. Clubs like Barnet are going bust. They're having to let go of half of their staff and telling players you can leave for free. This is actually falling apart, right? Football's falling apart. It's actually falling apart. Your local team needs your support right now. Please, just have a look at your local club at the situation because you may not even be aware of the dire straits that some of these guys are in financially. Something like 70% is going on wages. And if players aren't going to take a cut, then the game itself is in serious trouble right now, especially when the big fat cat billionaires on top of the game are not doing FA about it. I'm almost certain that the only way to do this fairly is to treat everyone with the same brush, right? You can't start dishing out different punishments for people when we've been doing everything by the letter of the law all year. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And if you do something separately, you have to offer a similar bailout to the lower league clubs. Otherwise, football in this country is done and dusted, and it will become some WWE type entertainment, which I'm afraid to say it pretty much is already. Juventus players have taken a 4-month pay cut. Barcelona players bullied into a corner, accepting a 70% wage cut to help out lower paid employees. And clubs like Dortmund and Munich and Mönchengladbach all doing similar things. However, in some cases it's a little bit more complicated. Johan Giroud and Alex Song both sacked last week after refusing the deal that they were offered at their Swiss club, where they were asked to take an 80% wage cut. 80%! Croatian club Dinamo Zagreb's players have also refused their club's offer, which would see them paid 30% less over 6 months. And the players have come together in a joint statement to say that the cuts are too high and that the decision's been made too soon. And that's before we look at players who'll be out of contract in June. The scene is set for this to turn into an absolute legal minefield. A war between TV networks trying to recoup their money, players and staff trying to get paid, and ultimately clubs trying not to go broke. You've got DAZN, who announced themselves as the first major network who will want their money back if the allotted amount of games aren't broadcast. So, as I think you can see, this isn't going to get sorted out overnight, and anyone telling you that it is, or that the Premier League is going to start next week or even next month, is selling you a pipe dream and having a Michael Bublé at your expense. unfortunately it actually looks like football is done out here for the foreseeable future. However, we, my beautiful furry friends, are just getting started. So make sure you subscribe if you're new and drop the video a damn like if you breathe oxygen. But for now, actually don't try not to breathe any oxygen in, especially someone else's oxygen, right? Keep your oxygen socially separate. Yeah? But for now, my name's been hughwizzy and this has been a lot of fun. Yeah, that's it.